Yo, Arian.
Hey, Eric.
What up? How we doing?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. Just chilling. Feeling okay. I'm whelmed, actually.
Whelmed, all right.
Whelmed.
Hell yeah.
That's
The
fact.
squad's whelmed this week. I'm whelmed. Bill, you whelmed?
I'm mid-whelmed.
That's
So
well.
So whelmed.
No, but mid-whelmed.
So perfectly whelmed.
Yeah. No, like just mid.
That
Not-
is whelmed.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
know,
it means.
I
I
know, but
understand the concept
I
of
wanted
being
to, I
whelmed.
do it. I'm not over and not under that when you're whelmed.
That's
but
whelmed.
I mean, this guy.
I know, but
It's
I know we
whelmed.
talked about this, but I'm mid-whelmed
Okay, that's fine.
just because it's mid.
Whatever.
I ate a rotisserie chicken in record time between our two podcasts.
Is this you doing like the Alex Jones thing? Like I just ate a big bowl of chili, so I forgot my son's name. I just ate a rotisserie chicken, so now I don't know the definition of
I was
whelmed.
just trying to clown you guys on your whelmed thing because it's just annoying.
Okay.
And you fucked it up.
I know, because
Yeah, at least Billy, at least that wasn't annoying. So thank you.
yeah.
Appreciate that. Donnie's here today, Arian. Our good friend Donnie does.
It's good to see you again, man.
Popping, dog. Was popping.
It's good to see all you. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, Donnie, you look great right now. You know why?
I do.
Because you're wearing the Shady Rays.
Damn straight.
Also, because you're a good looking guy. People don't give Donnie enough credit for just being handsome.
Especially with this jean jacket I got at a thrift shop. I feel good looking.
You look like you actually put together an outfit today. Like this is.
Dude, after a year when I was living in Italy, just didn't have to go to the office. I would just wear whatever the fuck I could find. And yeah, I'm starting to actually think about what I wear now. I'm
Yeah,
putting in a little more effort.
yeah. It's giving Christian Girl Autumn right now.
Did you
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
did you
What's the dude version of Christian Girl Autumn?
fuck boy fall?
I mean, football boy fall.
He's not fuckboy full. You're not dressed like a fuckboy, I don't think.
No.
You're just dressed more like a.
Warm.
Like I could have
Warm and
a
whelmed.
pumpkin spice latte in one hand.
Yeah, it looks like maybe you could like take a child to a pumpkin patch.
He could also
And-
just
and-
be
and
Christian
show
boy
them, like-
fall.
Are you
Yeah, like a hayride. No, like a child that he's related to, Billy.
okay?
You could take you look like you could be
Cool dad
taking
fall.
Cool Dad Fall or taking like your nephew to a haunted house or on a hayride.
Wish I had one.
A nephew?
Yeah, because I would love to go to a haunted house, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you do that solo as a 35-year-old man?
That's one of the. They probably frown on that
yeah,
if you just go solo to a haunted house.
yeah.
That sucks though because it would probably be fun. Haunted houses were fun.
I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good. Those are cool. I mean, maybe bring somebody though. Like,
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
case.
Like pay someone to come with you.
Have you guys heard
It's
about
like,
the haunted house in Tennessee? You have to sign a waiver before you go in because like a lot of people get seriously hurt in it. It's supposed to be the most terrifying
Oh, yeah.
haunted house on the
No, I
planet.
did read about that. It's the thing is they like actually torture you.
Yeah, I think you might
Yeah, it's
actually
like a
get
really
tortured.
fucked up one where they actually waterboard you and shit. Let me pull up the exact so we don't get it wrong.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the waiver says like they can literally do anything they want in the world to you.
Billy, you should go.
It's a southern thing.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the thing is, I fucking scare easily. So there's a blog on it, and it's a southernthing.com.
Jesus. Yeah.
I mean, waterboarding. I mean, you're well within your rights to be scared of waterboarding.
They like rip your toenails off and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
and you pay them
This
for
is
this.
not a haunted
I know.
house.
So
This
you
is
don't.
fucking-
I saw a TikTok on it recently. You don't have to pay, but there's like a waiting list to do
so
it,
okay.
and they vet you like mentally and stuff to
and
see if.
if you survive, if you can last the whole time, they pay you $20K.
This sounds
Yeah.
like the Marines. It sounds
So-
like people
So
are
I
just
think a Navy
signing
SEAL
up for the military.
A Navy SEAL
Yeah.
did it and was like gonna make it the whole time, but then they said something about, oh, you're unfit. We're stopping this now, so that they didn't have to pay him. I think.
I mean, I just came up. This is a great idea. If we take this concept and we just have like chicks running it, all the simps that would sign up to like get on a waiting list to have like a girl beat them with a sack of quarters or something like that.
No, this is so they actually so
Yeah, simps
Jesus Christ.
Simps would love this shit.
okay, so contacts and reservations. I'm pretty sure they do it for free. And they
McCamey
just-
Manor. is
Yeah,
the name of
McCamey
it.
Manor. Yeah, this
But
is scary.
there's
as
nothing
fuck.
haunted about getting waterboarded. That's just like,
Have you ever been waterboarded?
yeah.
It sucks.
Actually, no.
I
have
actually
not.
I got
Yeah.
beer. So I got beer boarded once.
Yeah, it sounds
voluntarily.
like the same.
It was
Is that a party?
no,
It
we
was sick.
it was so you literally like do the tip over thing, but instead of water, we were using beer and we
Yeah.
were trying to drink it.
I get it. Yeah.
But like it actually, you kind of panic when it gets all over your face and you can't breathe.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I feel like we should waterboard Billy.
I think I have a video. Of
No, that's
me beer boarding.
I believe you.
So the requirements on their website: 21 and above. You must have completed a physical and have a doctor's letter stating you're physically and mentally cleared. Pass a background check provided by them. Be screened via FaceTime. Have proof of medical insurance. Signed a detailed 40-page waiver and pass a drug test on the day of the experience.
And it's free.
Correct.
Oh my god!
And
imagine-
they waterboard you. They pull your fingernails off.
Yeah, no, it's like legit torture. Like people that have done it have said, and they say they do way more than is in the waiver too.
What's the point? I don't understand.
I mean, you have to have something wrong with you to want to do this.
if
but-
Eli Roth hasn't done this, then what the fuck? I mean, if he's such a horror guy,
Yeah. I mean,
there's some people who are really into that kind of shit. It's like like I scare easily.
yeah. You said that before. What do you mean by you scare easily?
I get like
Nah.
not that way.
Scary movies? Are you a fan of those?
I don't like them. They freak
Oh,
me
I-
out. I'm like, fuck this.
What's the scariest movie you ever seen?
The Woman in Black
I haven't seen that one.
with Daniel
Racist.
Radcliffe.
Wait, Daniel Radcliffe is in the scariest movie you've
Yeah.
ever seen?
Yeah, The Woman in Black, and it's fucking terrifying.
What happens when you get scared? Do you you have to turn all
No,
the
it's-
lights on,
it's like
you check
the-
under the bed?
It's like the creepy stuff that's scary. Like for example, when there's like videos and like you see something in the background that's just eerie.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Blair Witch Project scared you.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, no, that scared the
That-
shit out of
That
me.
terrified me.
Okay.
I think I asked to sleep on the floor of my parents' room after I saw that. I was young at the time, but
That was a great technique that they had for marketing.
Brilliant.
They just kind of made people think that maybe it was true, and it's all found
Yeah.
footage. And for a
Mhm.
while, people, especially like elementary, middle school, high schoolers,
But that was
we
like
were dumb as
pre-internet
shit.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like-
And it was easy for that sort of rumor to get passed around, which is like, this is actually the footage that they found, and everybody involved died. And so then you go see it in the theater, and it's shot on just the handheld cameras. And so
8
people,
millimeters.
and at the end, it was like that scene where they go into the house. There was nothing ever really super violent or scary in the movie, but it was fucking terrifying the entire
Yeah.
time because it was haunting.
yeah, I think it was the first found footage. Maybe like that was the movie that started the whole craze.
Yeah, we should bring that back.
Yeah. I was terrified when they found that lady in the water tank on top of a hotel in Los Angeles, and then
yeah.
Netflix did a whole documentary about it. But do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
There
I
was
know
a-
what you're talking
There was
about.
like a body in a water tank.
Yeah, like a girl actually died. She was found just in the water tank above the hotel, but they have footage of her in the elevator, like on the night that she died. And she's acting like very weird. Like she presses all the elevator buttons, or like hands are like moving in these absurd
Acid.
ways. And like that terrified me.
It's at that Cecil Hotel. It's that really
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
haunted
So,
hotel in LA.
so people were like showering and drinking water that
Yeah.
Yes.
her body was
Yeah.
floating in.
Yeah.
Because that's how they found her. The water started tasting weird.
Yep.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
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 Are you sure this is a real thing that
Yeah,
happened?
that's
no, this
real.
is
Yeah.
this is a real thing. So they now think that she just committed suicide, but like at the time it was like demonic possession because that hotel had like a really
Yeah.
dark history.
Or she.
And
It's on
yeah.
Skid Row, right?
yeah, it's in like
So-
a really rough area.
From what I heard, they thought she was taking some sort of like high dose of hallucinogen or ketamine or one of those designer drugs, and just ended up climbing, because a lot of people climb as far high up as they can when they're on certain drugs. They just climb. Like it happens. You see it at festivals sometimes. Like you see those videos of the people who climb the,
Yeah,
and then
I did that once.
yeah,
Yeah,
on hallucinogens.
on Chinese bath salts.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Meow 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 meow.
Meow meow.
That's what made you. Yeah. So
I don't think that's what made me climb. I just like to climb things, but I'm sure being on drugs,
Yeah. so then
made it more appealing.
she climbed up to the highest point, which was this water tower, was fucking around up there and just fell in.
Jesus.
So that's what they think happened.
Anyways, Donnie looks great because he's wearing Shady Rays sunglasses today. And Donnie, they're looking very, very smart on you. You look awesome. And they're doing their best deal of the season. Did you know that?
I did not
People
know.
always ask, they always say, hey, PFT, should I buy Shady Rays now? And the answer is usually yes, because they're great sunglasses and they have the best return policy in the business and an insane protection program where every pair is backed by lost and broken replacements. But now it's specifically the best time that you should buy them because it is their best deal of the year. They are giving 50% off. It's half off 2 or more pairs of their polarized shades when you go to shadyrays.com and use code MACRO. So if you've been thinking it's time to get sunglasses, just look at Donnie right now. He looks awesome. You too could look that great. Just go to shadyrays.com, use code MACRO. 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Great time. Great time to get your shopping done for the holiday season. Do it right now. If you don't love them, you can exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. ShadyRays.com. Use code MACRO. 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Okay, welcome back to Nanodosing. Donnie is here, if you couldn't tell through that 10-minute intro that we just did. We get the whole squad in the studio. Arian is down in Texas. Arian, have you installed your giant television yet? That's my biggest concern.
Nah, man, we still shuffling stuff around. I have the window installation the 19th, 17th, something like that. And so it's just taking construction is just the worst, bro. Plus I got sick last week and I'm still kind of in and out of that shit. So
Did you have
thanks
the
for
cocoa?
concern though. No. This was a flu. My daughter had the flu, and it ran through the whole family. Like 3 out of my 4 kids got it. I got it. My girl got it. It was wild.
Flu sucks. People aren't really talking about the flu that much, but the chills, all that, sweats. I think the chills are the worst symptom that you can have. You go down the list of bad symptoms that you get from sicknesses like cough, fever, sore throat, runny nose, poops, throwing up, nausea. I think chills is my worst.
Mine is it's the aches, man. It's the aches. It's like you can't get comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like no matter how you sit, no matter how you lay, the blanket feels like it hurts your skin. It's just wild, man. It's wild.
I'm kind of a fan of chills in a way
You like the chills?
because it gives you an opportunity to just bundle up and just like,
But you can't get warm.
yeah, but like,
That's the thing about the
And
chills.
then you wake up sweaty.
Yeah, that's the worst part. You
Yeah.
think that you're super cold, and then it turns
I'm
out
going
that
through
you're
that
very
like
hot.
as we speak. It's
Are you
awful.
sick?
I think I got the flu over the weekend or something.
You just all up in the studio, Maddie. What you
Yeah,
doing?
talk real close to that mic.
Mad Dog, are you trying to get other people sick to?
No, I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do my job.
What did you do this weekend, Mad Dog?
Stayed home because I was sick.
So you stayed home?
No, you didn't go out for Halloween.
I went out Friday night.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you were feeling fine on Friday.
Nah, well, Friday night I was coming home from the bar and I was like, nah, I'm gonna wake up sick tomorrow. I can feel it.
That's a bad feeling to have.
Yeah, and then I did.
Do you
I
want?
nailed that.
Do you want to just go home?
No, I'm fine.
Don't get people sick.
No, I haven't been like kissing anyone today.
It's the flu.
Okay. Well, you don't have to kiss people to get them sick.
Yeah.
It's not mono.
We
We're not
had
talking
this-
about mono here.
We had this whole thing a couple of months ago.
Oh, you're talking about COVID?
Are you talking
Yeah.
about COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's not COVID.
that got ended a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have antibiotics. I'm all good.
Okay. Now you're making me nervous.
I'm okay.
Donnie and I can't get sick. I guess we can make a formal announcement right now. We've talked about it enough, so it's not really that much of an announcement. But Donnie and I will be going to a country that I'm still not sure how to pronounce its name because every time I say it, I get corrected. I'm going to go with Qatar. A mix.
Qatar.
Qatar.
I mean, I still like calling it Qatar. That just feels right. But no, I think it's.
I thought it was. It's not Qatar.
I think it's Qatar.
I've looked it up online.
I heard a guy who's from Lebanon say it the other day, and I'm not going to try to recreate it because I feel like it would be slightly culturally insensitive. But it was not Qatar. It was like Qatar, but if you said it with a Middle Eastern
Qatar.
kind
Is
of.
there like a-
yeah?
Qatar. Yes, but yeah, we will be at the World Cup. So if you want to get sick, PFT, now would be the time because you still have a few weeks to recover.
That's true.
Yeah. And I got some good news about the World Cup. I met this guy from the U.S. online who's been living there the last 2 years. He says he might be able to get us a big bottle of Jack Daniels.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I would see. I'm a little bit nervous about doing anything that could be considered against the law over there.
Hey, so
Yeah, y'all should not, especially don't announce it, man. We don't need no free PFT and Donnie
Yeah,
shit.
bro.
Think about what that would do for downloads.
Those would sell
bro.
though.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
sell.
Might sell. They would sell. You know what? Fuck it.
Sell
Bye.
T-shirts, free PFT.
It ain't us. Who gives?
I mean,
So-
if you got arrested for just a bottle of Jack Daniels, like that would be solid content.
That would fucking rock. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me? Like
yeah.
that would be. That's so on brand for Jack Daniels too. Like I would be the new Kid Rock.
So I actually,
Yeah.
I brought up the local laws in Qatar because I wanted to review them with you guys before
Yeah.
you left.
I think there's a lot of fake news out there. but
No,
we'll see.
this is from gov.uk.
Okay.
So
England.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
local laws and customs. Drugs. There's a zero tolerance for drug-related offenses in Qatar. The penalties for the use of trafficking, smuggling, and possession of drugs are severe. Punishment can include lengthy custodial sentences, heavy fines, and deportation.
So
Okay.
not death.
Yeah.
Now, what is considered drugs? What about prescriptions?
Some prescribed and over-the-counter medicines may be controlled substances in Qatar. If you need to bring in controlled prescription medication to Qatar, ensure you carry your official doctor's prescription, hospital note, or letter from your GP. Alcohol. It is an offense to drink alcohol or be drunk in public. British nationals have been detained under this law, usually when they have come to the attention of the police on a related matter, such as disorderly or offensive behavior.
Now they
You
will
get a
be
prison sentence
relaxing
of
that
6 months.
law. 6 months.
So what do you
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean they're relaxing that law, Donnie?
Because normally you couldn't drink in public, but they did have some bars like inside hotels there, and they did have one like beer store in the country for personal use. But because of the World Cup, they're going to have a few designated areas around the city in these fan festival zones where you will be able to purchase beer. I don't think you'll be able to purchase beer at the games, but if you're in those fan zones, you will be allowed to drink Budweiser beer and Jack
You
Daniels.
said Coors Light, Light and Jack Daniels. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, hopefully we can find some Coors. I think it's like a branding thing, but yeah.
When I hear like fan centers, I automatically think like three things. I think hastily assembled tents.
Mm-hmm.
I think long lines to get beer and longer lines to use subpar bathrooms.
Well, apparently they're going to have live music. They're going to have giant screens to watch all the games.
Okay.
One of them's on a beach.
Oh shit, let's
And
go.
yeah, I think we are allowed to take our shirts off to go swimming.
Thank God.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Unless-
that sounds fun. What's the weather going to be like? Is it going to be pretty nice?
It's actually not going to be horrendous because like the reason they're not doing it in the summer is that's when the temps can reach like 120 degrees. I think now we're looking at like a high of maybe the high 80s or something, but a low of like the low 50s. Qatar weather in November. It's not going to be horrible. Yeah, it's going to range from 89 to 74. Or
That's
actually,
nice.
no, I think it's going to range from 89 degrees to 66 degrees.
That's awesome. I can't wait. I'm looking right now at the list of prohibited medications in Qatar.
Yeah.
It looks like you can't take any medications that contain narcotics or psychotropic substances. That includes medicines like Xanax, Valium, clonazepam, Zolpidem, which I think is Ambien, anything with codeine, and Zolom. So, like, no anxiety medications, it looks like, are permitted over there.
Quick thing, guys. Offensive behavior, swearing, and making rude gestures are considered obscene acts, and offenders can be jailed and or deported.
Getting arrested for making, like, aggressive gestures would kind of kick
So, like,
ass.
I think if you guys like are swearing publicly, throwing up the bird, or
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, if we
PFT,
beat
yeah.
England, y'all better be swearing publicly and throwing up the bird.
Oh,
Yeah,
if-
that's
if
what I'm
we,
saying.
If we beat England, I'm going double birds
Yeah.
to Queen Lizzie.
Hell
I guess
yeah.
I'd be pointing it down at the ground, not up into the
There
sky,
you go.
because she's in hell.
Lizzie's in a
Box in a box.
Lizzie's in a box.
I think some fans might get very offended. Like if you make a joke about the Queen to people from Liverpool, they don't really give a fuck about the Queen. But
Right.
some of the Londoners, I feel like, would be very offended. I don't know if they would try to fight you. I would try to back you up to the best of my ability.
I know you
if that
would. A
happens.
Tory.
I'm on my best
Tories.
behavior. I'm on my
Tory.
best behavior over there. I will do everything I can to not get arrested while also trying to make good content.
I'm
That's my
very
promise.
fascinated by the dynamics of a U.S.-England soccer game in Qatar.
Yeah.
Like, that's two of the rowdiest groups of people you can put together against each other in a country where they don't really want you being rowdy.
Yes.
So, and they don't like either of those groups of people particularly.
Yeah. I just feel like this entire World Cup was just a heat check for FIFA to say,
Yeah.
what can we get away with?
Yeah.
Well, they let us do Russia, so
Have you seen
you want to go? You want to do Qatar?
Have you seen the documentary that's coming out on Netflix? It looks sick.
About what?
FIFA corruption.
I bet it's going to be great.
Looks very good.
Is that Bob Lee joint?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
I'm a little bit internally conflicted about the World Cup because tens of thousands of people have died building these stadiums, and it's obviously like a big corrupt shit show, and FIFA is a bad organization. At the same time, Donnie and I, we have a job to do. We're journalists, so we have to go shed a light on everything that's going on over there.
I mean, at least it's so. I was actually looking because I was looking at this, trying to see what the travel advisories were for Qatar, and then I was seeing like, okay, which places have the worst travel advisories? Somalia.
Dude, I went down to Somalia rabbit hole.
What did you go? For a
Looks
second there, I went
terrifying.
down to Somalia. So it turns out if you're going to go to Somalia, the travel.state.gov department says you should draft a will and designate appropriate insurance beneficiaries and powers of attorney before you leave. Discuss a plan with loved ones regarding care, custody of children, pets, property belongings, non-liquid assets, funeral wishes, and then share important documents, login information, and points of contact with loved ones so they can manage your affairs if you are unable to return. And then there's a
You also are supposed to give a sample of your DNA to your doctor, so that you can be identified.
shit.
and this is have a point of contact for a hostage situation.
Yeah.
And then
Dave Portnoy. Yeah.
and then it was
Watching Dave get into a negotiation with like Somali
my
pirates would be awesome.
so then there's one.
we would die. He would just be like, no deal. He's not worth that much to me.
Yeah, but I think he could put some like shirts on sale and actually raise a bunch of money.
That's probably true.
One of the craziest one is it is very highly advisable that whatever militia is in control of the area you plan to visit, you employ them for your safety.
Yeah, it's considered a failed state. I think
Yeah.
I think it's kind of run by warlords.
Yeah, you should not go to Somalia, no matter what. Even if you're in an aid organization or you're delivering healthcare, things like that, they do have to pay off certain militias, and even still, the chances of you getting kidnapped while you're there are like astronomically high.
Yeah.
If you're an outsider that goes to visit there,
Which
is sad because they need the most help over there. But it's just like you can't do anything about it right now. There is Somaliland, which is different from Somalia, which is the northwestern part of Somalia.
They say Somaliland is also pretty.
Yeah, but it's Somaliland. People can go there. They can visit there. It's more under control than Somalia is, but they still don't recommend that you go visit. I did watch a couple of YouTube videos about a guy that is trying to go to every single country on earth, and he did go to Somalia for like a day and a half, and people were like freaking out on the streets because they'd never seen a Westerner there before.
Yeah.
And it was kind of crazy, but yeah.
Back to the World Cup. PFT, would you be willing to make out with me for just like a minute, just to like
Okay, no, that
show that like we don't condone the anti-LGBT stance of Qatar?
Define make out.
Definitely some tongue action.
Oh, see, that's where you lost me.
low-key
Aaron's
sus.
making some weird faces.
Well, hey, listen.
Listen, Aaron,
PFT is not an ally. Okay,
Arian, are you homophobic?
you heard it here first.
No, but I'm not gonna kiss you to be an ally.
I guess maybe some people care more about the cause than others. So that's fine.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think if we could define making out as like no tongue,
Yeah, maybe just a kiss.
open mouth, no tongue.
Yeah.
Low-key, I don't think you guys
Just
can,
like breathing into each other's mouths.
I think holding hands
Yeah.
is
I'll hold Donnie's hand.
Yeah,
Holding
do
hands is
that,
actually
do that.
fine. Like in Middle Eastern countries, men just hold hands a lot, and that's seen as like a normal thing to do. But yeah, I guess LGBT football fans have been told to be respectful at the Qatar World Cup, which I don't know what that means. It means like, don't be too gay.
Yeah, be respectful. Like I think
it's fine if you guys are gay, just don't be too gay.
Just don't rub our faces in it by you actually being gay.
Yeah, so like Pat would be fine, Joey would not be fine.
It's fine if you're gay. It's fine if you're gay, just don't be gay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, just,
whose idea was it to have a soccer match with these two teams there? Whose idea was this?
What's the World Cup? It's
the teams are drawn randomly.
It's 48 teams, I believe. So they you have to qualify. There's like a years long a tournament that goes into it, and different parts of the world they have different amounts of countries that they send to the World Cup.
Oh,
so Europe has a ton of countries that they send. South America has a ton. We're in a group which is in North America and Central America. And so we're sending a group. I think who got in from our? It was
Us,
Mexico,
Canada,
USA,
Mexico.
Canada, and then is there any? There's probably a fourth that got in, right? Or did
I assume so. I don't know who though.
I don't know either.
I don't know who's in our group really.
But anyway, so it's just countries from all around the world, and every 4 years they take the tournament to a different location, and FIFA just got paid off by Qatar. And so they said, okay, we're going to put the World Cup in this country that has no business hosting it whatsoever. So Donnie and
Qatar just is like they just want some good press, or are they trying to change their ways, or like what is the goal here for them?
Good press, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just a flex for like the president of the country and stuff, rather than be like, we are so rich, let's bring the World Cup here just because we can and we have the money. It's kind of just like showing off how rich they are.
like the Live Tour.
Yeah, and so that's why I don't think they want a ton of bad press. So I think they're going to be more lenient than you'd think. And
that's what I'm saying. Like we can kiss, but just no tongue.
Yes.
What
exactly.
if it's a trap though? What if they just want to lock up a whole bunch of foreigners? You know, like,
I think there already has been so much bad press on Qatar over the games because I guess a lot of workers died building the stadiums, and those workers themselves weren't really paid much at all. And so that's why they have sober zones there. Instead of if someone's like drunk and being rowdy, they don't want to officially arrest them. So they have sober zones where they're going to put you until you sober up.
So
holding tanks.
Yes. Drunk tanks.
Oh man.
A couple years ago, there was a situation where a bunch of Australian women were strip searched and given full cavity searches while leaving. They were pulled off their flight in Qatar because they were suspected to have given birth in the bathroom, which didn't happen, but they were just randomly, and that's why they're that's the type of stuff that happens there. So,
wait, so were they trying to find a baby on them?
No, they were trying to find who left a newborn baby in the bathroom.
Oh,
so
geez.
any
It's an
incident,
ultimate whodunit.
yeah, relationships outside of marriage. Any
I think that'd be a pretty easy one to solve, wouldn't it?
well, that's why they. What do you mean?
That's why they had to look at their vaginas?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
pretty
basically,
easy.
so living together whilst unmarried is prohibited in Qatar, and sex outside of
Wait,
marriage.
so they found a baby?
They found a baby in the women's bathroom, and they were like, we got to shut this place down and find out who had this baby, because it's illegal for you to have a baby outside of marriage.
What about Jesus?
It's probably also illegal just to leave a baby in the bathroom.
Criminal.
Right.
Jesus is a criminal.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So they went and they looked at the
Dude,
cameras and
Jesus-
saw everybody who left the bathroom.
Jesus' parents were married.
Do you know the story? But Jesus didn't belong to Joseph.
Out
Yeah,
of wedlock,
but
my
it
guy.
was-
Out of wedlock, my guy.
It was immaculate.
It was out of wedlock. Joseph
Mary was
got
tipping.
But his parents,
Joseph got
well,
cucked.
technically,
Big
Mary-
time.
by God.
Big time. Yes,
but
big.
when
That's
the
ultimate
aliens
cuck.
I mean, you can live
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I guess. But then you tell your
Hell
friends.
no, I can't live with that. I don't fuck who he is. Cheating on me with God. Fuck
no,
who
it
you
was
think
an
you is?
alien.
She
It was
didn't
an
cheat
alien.
on him with God.
Jesus
Anyway,
was the first
Oh, you
half
slip,
alien
fell, and had a
human
baby. Fuck
hybrid.
out of here.
But then you go
And-
tell your boys, and you're like, "Yeah, it's not mine." But like, here's the thing: it's actually not another dude's. It's God. And your
Pretty
friends are
sick
like,
story.
Your friends are like, "Is that how you would react, Big T?"
I would
Shorty-
need
Shorty
to
got
listen
pregnant.
to the whole story. I would have some questions initially,
Yeah.
but then once it became clear that like, hey, this kid he's doing some stuff we haven't seen
Wait,
before.
wait. How did we know?
The story makes more sense.
Yeah. Like once he
But he
once
didn't do the
disappeared.
fun shit till like 30 years old. He was pretty regular.
Sometimes
No,
it takes
you-
a long
well,
time to
there's-
get to be right.
There's the banned books where Jesus like
You gonna
killed
stick around
people.
for 30 years after your girl gets knocked up by a dude? Say, trust me, it's gonna be magic. Like in
No,
30
no,
years.
he was
Joseph
doing-
was a special man.
He was doing fucked up shit when he was a
He didn't
teenager. Like Jesus, that's the books that they banned at that big meeting in like Rome. You know what I'm talking
The
about? Johnny?
Council of
The council,
Nicaea.
yeah. So they said they brought all these people together, like, yo, which books are we gonna keep in this New Testament? Like, let's make this official. And they threw out all the books of like Jesus, like doing whack shit and like being like a bad superhero, like
as a teenager.
Yeah,
Doing
like-
shrooms, I think.
yeah, he
There's-
was like killing people and like bringing them back to life after everyone was upset he killed them, and then like he was doing miracles, but like for bad.
Yeah, I mean, imagine like if you're a teenager and you discover all these things about your abilities,
Yeah.
and about your body. You have to learn how to like explore that in order to learn what your limitations are.
Yeah, so he was doing all sorts of stuff before he became like Jesus.
Hey, send me the.
bad,
I've never heard these bad Jesus teenagers.
Jesus bad story.
It's called the
Yeah.
Apocrypha. There's books of
Seven
stories
moments.
that were not included in
We
the
should-
Bible.
Yeah.
I kind of want to write a screenplay about this.
I'm gonna be so
Oh,
real.
It should
I've
be
never
lit,
heard-
right?
Hey, Jesus.
the
So
lost years.
Jesus used to pay taxes passive aggressively. That, we're all very
That's-
Christ-like.
That would not make a good movie.
Jesus doing paperwork.
Okay, going on a rampage. Perhaps the
Jesus
most famous-
calculating his withholdings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he killed a tree. Perhaps the most famous.
Oh wow! Holy shit! He was trouble.
So George Washington. Perhaps the most famous of Jesus' anger issues occurred when he came across a temple to his dad and found it full of money lenders and animal sellers. He was furious at this sacrilege, but he didn't just get mad. He effectively hulked out, flipping over tables and knocking over chairs, and then he stood guard at the door to make sure no more jerks came in on non-worshipping business.
So is this the original text here when you're saying that he hulked
Hulk,
out?
I was going to ask the same question.
No, I'm on a very reliable source.
Reddit.
That'd be the shit that'd be like. Well, I'd be listening to that shit. But like, how you believe this stupid shit, man? Like Jesus has all these powers and he's flipping tables over. Like, do something better than that.
No,
That
there's
shit's
another
pretty lame.
story. I'll find it.
But
there
if
was
you had
something about
Jesus' powers, it's
baby Jesus was kind of a dick. Vice.com. Here we go. Lil
Notable
Jesus-
Truth-seeking organization,
Yeah.
Vice.
No, but this was back when Vice was good.
not. When they used to do shit like go down to like Ecuador and like take
Liberia.
ayahuasca.
Yeah.
According
North
to the
Korea.
Infancy Gospels, Lil Jesus uses divine powers.
Lil
to
Jesus?
Lil Jesus.
Lil Jesus.
Little Jeeziana.
That was his rapper name. Used his divine powers to terrorize teachers, kill Jewish children, and be an all-around butthole.
He was.
He was killing Jewish children as
I
a
mean,
baby.
Well, he was a Jewish
I
teen.
think, I think that was the thing where he brought them back to life because everyone was mad.
As a baby.
Yeah.
Everyone got mad at him just because he killed a bunch of babies.
When
and he
Jesus-
was like, "Oh, okay."
When the son of a local scribe gets on Kid Christ's nerves, Jesus declares that the child should be withered like a tree and shall not bear leaves, neither root nor fruit. So the kid shrivels up and dies. On another occasion, Jesus curses a child to death after he bumps into him on the street. Rightfully
Cursed the
pissed
child
off,
to death.
the whole community calls upon Joseph to rein in Jesus or get out of town. When Joseph tries to talk with little Jesus about his bad behavior, Jesus tells his father that he knows the townspeople are causing him trouble, so he blinds them all. Jesus also gives a number of
Effective.
teachers absolute hell, resurrects a child named Zeno, just so Zeno can tell his parents that Jesus didn't kill him. And only
It's good they
revokes-
left all this out.
Yeah.
It was smart whoever left this shit out.
and only revokes some of the curses once a teacher compliments him on how smart he is compared to the other students. So
I kind of like baby Jesus.
The only
I
one
like
of those-
kid Jesus better than adult Jesus. honestly.
The only one of those I'd ever heard was he was with a group of kids in like the upper level of a house, and one of the kids falls down the stairs and died, and then all the other kids run away, and Jesus is left there, and the kid's parents are like, "What happened? Our son is dead." And they're blaming Jesus for it, and Jesus brings him back to life and says, "Did I kill you?" And the kid is like, "No." And then he's like, see, I told you.
And then he lets the kid die again.
That was Zeno.
I don't know
That
what
would
happened,
be
but I
fire.
think the kid
That
said,
would be fire.
the kid
Wake
said
up,
something
little
like,
nigga. Wake up. Did I do this shit? No. Thought so. Told you, motherfucker. Go back to sleep.
and then he was like, no, you did not bring me down, but raised me back up or something.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Imagine a 7-year-old talking like that.
Yeah. So
That's-
Jesus.
So Jesus, he was
I mean, that displays, like, I think back then, God, as like pre-Christian gods, like gods were more human. Like Greek gods all had like,
animal qualities, right?
not animal qualities, but they had like
Flaws.
Flaws. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So like Jesus was flawed, and then he
Mhm.
came to all knowing.
Yeah. What do you think you would have done if it started raining frogs? If you were alive back then, what's your first move?
If it starts raining frogs,
Didn't it rain frogs?
Yeah.
I think he's
in Egypt.
Yeah.
I think
I
there
think
was
that
like a
was-
scientific, like I think it's actually rained frogs.
no, that was
before.
Moses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
so the raining frogs is actually that happened in the U.S. once. It was when there was
Yeah.
a storm and there was a vortex and it became a hydro vortex and sucked up all the frogs from a pond, and then like went and rained them somewhere else.
Would you have liked to been in that?
It would have been cool to see with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like the least bad of the plagues.
Yeah. So
Raining
the,
frogs.
The
Like, that
frogs, the bugs, right?
Oh yeah,
Locusts.
The locusts.
That
The
would
si-
be bad. But raining frogs would be like,
Well, that
all right.
still happens.
Yeah.
They raise crops. They'll like eat
Yeah.
everything in their path, and they're just grasshoppers.
Oh, dude, I grew up in Northern Virginia, and they've got, I think, the 13-year locust down there. So it came out just, I think, last summer they were here, and then before that, I remember being back in Northern Virginia when it was happening, and they're these tiny, or they're actually big bugs, but they're not very good at flying. So they're just flying everywhere at about like shin height. And so if you have a dog, your dog will go outside and just eat all the cicadas because they're
Yeah.
delicious. They taste really good. And then your dog won't be able to poop for like 3 months.
It would be
It's bad.
It would be pretty awesome to be like in one of those and you were a frog, because you just like it'd be a flying buffet.
You'd probably die. You'd probably eat so much that you die.
Yeah.
You don't have that restriction on your body that tells you to stop.
just grow giant.
Yeah, you could also do that.
Yeah, and then you just have the biggest bullfrogs because of the locust.
Yeah.
Bullfrogs are very tasty. So, you wouldn't have to worry about food.
Also mad aggro.
Really?
Yeah, bullfrog, like an American bullfrog will take down a sparrow, or I saw one kill a duck once online.
Can you show that to me?
Yes.
Okay.
That sounds incredible.
It does. I've had frog legs before. Those are delicious.
Mm-hmm.
They taste like little tiny, tender little buffalo wings. They're very good.
Yeah. I might like frogs more than gator.
I would agree with that.
I think you're right. I think gator is like a little tough.
Yeah.
Frog legs are tender. They're just like the most tender, moist little buffalo wings that you've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But you probably can't even eat enough of them to get full.
Like crawfish.
But a bullfrog, there's actually a decent amount of meat on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird what parts of animals you can eat. Like, for example, squirrels. One squirrel is about 2 chicken wings of meat.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's
'Cause
just
it's
the
mostly
hind legs.
guts?
Well, no, it's just that there's not enough meat on their front arms.
Oh.
So like it's mostly just the 2 hindquarters.
I know that crabs, you can't eat the lungs or the guts. They always tell you not to eat those, but some people still eat them.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever eaten frog guts.
Why can't you eat them?
I don't know. I think it makes you sick.
That
So when
sounds about right.
You crack
Of what?
open the crab, and then you've got the white meat that's like in the joints.
Oh, you're talking about the green?
Yeah, there's some green brown stuff, and
Yeah.
then there's also the lungs on the inside that you can't eat. The lungs are like the spongy white part.
Yeah, you just wouldn't want to.
I know.
It tastes
I know. With
gross.
lobster, you're not supposed to eat the green, but like my cousins from Maine suck that up.
It tastes really good. Yeah, they call
Yeah.
it the tamale.
Yeah,
or
they're
something
like
like that. But
it's
it's
like
very
their
tasty.
poop, right? Or
I don't think it's the poop. I hope not, because I always eat that part.
yeah,
But no, I think they're just like maybe the water's a little too polluted these days. So like
yeah, it might be got the
That-
bad stuff.
now there's some bad chemicals in the green stuff.
You know what's kind of crazy? You know, we're eating Gulf shellfish after the whole oil spill.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how You know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I saw some people harvesting oysters out of the East River, which I was not going to eat, but apparently they're very good for the East River because they like naturally filter out all the pollutants. So when Boston Harbor was really polluted, they just planted a bunch of oyster beds to like naturally clean the harbor.
So, you know how oysters are aphrodisiacs?
Yeah.
So someone told me once that the reason why Manhattan became the trading capital of the world is because it was bountiful of oysters. And when the colonists came, there used to just be piles of oyster shells because the Native Americans there would just eat so many oysters that like the whole beaches were all just oyster shell beaches and like just piles and piles. And even if you dig today, you'll find these like good 10 feet of oyster shells. And because the settlers, like the Dutch, came and they all just were eating these oysters, and because they became so high tea off the oysters, they were better businessmen. And that's why New York City is the financial. I don't believe it because there's much better explanations, like the greatest natural port of all time being the New York Harbor. But they're saying like, yeah, the reason why they're such good businessmen is because they're all hopped up.
So they were way more high tea than the Pilgrims, you think?
Yes.
I feel like the
Yeah.
Pilgrims
Yes.
were super horny though because they didn't fuck, right?
No, they fucked.
I think
The
they could fuck
Pilgrims
you.
They fucked on the boat. There
You
was
just
a
had to
baby
be
on the
married.
boat.
Yeah, but I thought the Pilgrims they're super like very conservative, right? They couldn't wear zippers or anything. They had the buckle thing going on.
Yeah, but then once they got all the doors closed,
I guess
shades,
buckles.
They would pump out kids.
If you were to say like how easy is it to take off clothes that have buckles on them, it's probably pretty easy, right? Buckles are very easier than buttons.
Yes.
You think they invented the buckles so they could get that shit off
To
quick?
fuck more,
Do you
maybe.
think they invented the thing where they take out the buckle with their
But they weren't
teeth?
Pilgrims weren't businessmen.
No, they weren't, but they were fucking.
I don't know.
They
I
were
like
fucking. Yeah.
I like Billy's story about the oysters. I'm going to say yes. That's why New York became
Yes.
a big city, is because everybody had super high testosterone from eating oysters.
And they
all
were
the time.
just trading
And like, yeah,
acquiring
everyone
money.
knows that high tea makes you the best businessman.
It's very
Yeah.
true. It's very, very true.
And then I heard that and I was like, I used to believe it for a long time. Now I'm like, no, it's probably a natural harbor.
Yeah. Well, that's growth, Billy.
Yeah. And plus we don't have the oysters anymore. Well, actually we do,
Now we do.
but only the people on Wall Street can afford them.
So wait, so the oysters that are growing
Well,
right
they
here
have
in New
Dollar
York,
Oyster Night in Massachusetts.
they're not good oysters to eat. The ones that are here.
The ones like in the East River, no.
Not anymore.
But yeah, I'm sure there are areas of like I know Duxbury, where Little Sass is from. They have some great oysters there.
Oh, I've actually heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duxbury
hot.
and like Cape Cod. I know someone who works on an oyster farm up there. Those are high quality oysters.
What is it about Massachusetts? Has a lot of towns that just sound delicious. Duxbury oysters. That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Cape Cod.
Duxbury.
Sandwich. They have a town named Sandwich.
Yeah.
Woonsocket.
that
That's
doesn't
Rhode
sound,
Island.
That
Yeah, it
doesn't sound no.
too tasty.
Woonsocket's not great. But yeah,
Cohasset is where I'm from. It means rocky shore in Native American.
Duxbury. You could put that in front of like the Duxbury burger. That sounds good to me. Like there's certain cities in America that
Yeah.
sound delicious with their names, and others that just sound like El Paso. El Paso's a delicious sounding name for
Yes.
anything,
Actually,
right?
Yep. Monterey,
Oh yeah.
Mexico, but that's just because you think of Monterey Jack.
Well, there's also Monterey,
Oh,
California.
yeah. Which is really beautiful, right?
Yeah.
St. Louis always sounds tasty to me, but that's because every barbecue thing is like St. Louis baby back ribs, St. Louis barbecue sauce.
I don't know if St. Louis sounds delicious to me.
St.
it's a
Louis
fake
just
place, so
It's true.
St. Louis just reminds me of pork products made different ways with very sweet barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Savannah, Georgia.
Mm.
That's a delicious
Yes.
sounding city.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Memphis is good sounding too.
Yeah, but
Memphis. What
I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with Memphis.
what parts do you love about it?
The Bass Pro Shop Pyramid.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And
I'm not a fan of their gas stations.
yes. We almost got in big trouble in a Memphis gas station. Big trouble.
doing what?
We won't talk about that.
Driving.
Right now. We were just driving all on the way to Los Angeles. We went to the wrong gas station.
All
and
right.
things almost went south very quickly. There was no
But anyway.
power on in all of Memphis that day because they were dealing with an ice storm. And yeah, it was. We got lucky.
Did you guys almost get jumped or robbed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well, you're still here today.
we made it. Well, let's get back to
Made it.
talking about delicious sounding cities.
Then you just go
That's
to
a
the
much-
bartender and be like, yo, we almost got carjacked. And he goes, hey, man, this is Memphis, baby.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Comes with the territory.
See, what you said about St. Louis, I associate with Kansas City. Kansas
Yeah.
City sounds like a nice barbecue sauce to me.
It does. Kansas City sounds a little dry to me, though. Like
Two Egg, Florida.
What about like a dry rub?
Wait, what was that, Aaron?
There's a town called Two Egg, Florida.
Ooh, that sounds good.
is it
Two Egg,
is it
Florida.
spelled like 2 eggs?
Two Egg, Florida.
All right.
TWOEGG. Two Egg.
2 egg. This is a 2-egg town.
East Egg.
Yeah, Great Gatsby. But does the city make the food sound good, or is it the certain cities have food associated with them?
New Orleans.
They just sound good. They just I
Yeah,
don't
like
know,
you feel like there's good vibe.
yeah,
good food
just
vibes.
like I would like to eat up the entire city.
Oh,
man.
this the one. Candy Kitchen, New Mexico.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that is good. Is that near where you grew up?
No, I've never even heard of that. I'm just looking at interesting town names.
My older brother is actually living in Las Vegas, New Mexico right now.
That's where my grandma lives.
All right.
Yeah, she lives there.
Hit him up next time you go to visit your grandma.
Vegas, baby. What's going on
I'll
in Las
probably never
Vegas?
go there again. She's coming
Not-
for.
Not much. It doesn't seem like a really happening spot.
Nah, it's small. It's very small, bro. Like,
Yeah. They've
we're
had
talking population 1,000 or something.
I want to get into a couple recurring segments real quick. First, Big T. What are you teed off about? Or do you want to do the Tennessee Minute? Dealer's
Yeah,
choice.
I was gonna say I'm not teed off about too much. Things are going well.
Okay, so the Tennessee Minute. Let's do it.
You watched the game. I saw you tweeting about it.
I was.
You're borderline VFL at this point.
Well, I am closely associated now with you and with Arian. A lot of people would say like numbers 1 and 2 most influential University of Tennessee football influencers of all time.
In which order?
Obviously, Big T number 1.
Okay.
Because you had to take Arian to school the other week. That was an all-time clip, by the way, when you started to fansplain to Arian about how to beat Alabama, and then Arian was like, "Look up right now and tell me who scored the game-winning touchdown the last
Only
time."
had
that
34 yards in that game.
the last time.
How
that
many?
we beat-
How many did you have?
I didn't play in it.
Duh.
That was great. But no, since being around you guys and, you showed us Knoxville, I like the program, and Hendon Hooker coming on, Tyler Barron coming on. I've got connections to the University of Tennessee now, and they're very easy to root for. They're a fun school, man. They are.
This team rocks.
They
This
are a
is
fun football team.
this is one of the most fun teams in any sport I've ever watched. Maybe number 1.
You could say that their offense right now is doing things that the LSU 2019 team was doing.
They're right. I wonder if I can find the stat, but they're at this point in 2019, LSU was number 1 in the country in scoring offense at like 49 a game. We're at like 49.5, and they were in the 30s in the country in scoring defense, and we're in the 20s.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of similarities between those teams. Like this Georgia game is for us pretty much what the LSU Bama game that year was, their big in-division game on the road. And like people still kind of doubted them until they went there and beat Alabama, which obviously we've beaten Bama already, but Georgia is kind of that game for us now. So
Yeah, I mean, I would say that you have 2 of those Alabama games.
right.
And because Alabama and Georgia are probably the 2 best programs, maybe Ohio State, but those are the 2 that you have to beat. And so if you can beat Georgia, then yes, you guys, I think, are right there in the discussion with 2019 LSU. I actually think that Hendon Hooker is a lot like Joe Burrow. The playing styles remind me of each other.
Kind of came out of nowhere in their final season.
They've been around for forever.
Yeah.
They had their like junior season that built up a little bit.
I actually do have something I'm teed off about. It's usually when we get talking about it, it makes me think of it. Will Levis still being considered like a top 5 pick in the NFL. He knows something about somebody. I mean,
Careful, he's a big fan of Billy.
is he really?
No,
I mean,
he's
He's an AWL.
he listens to Part of My Take.
I'm sure he's a great dude. He is not a top 5 NFL quarterback.
Great
He's just
TikToker.
isn't. Sure.
Did you see when he ate the banana
Yeah.
and put mayonnaise in his coffee?
Yeah, seen that. Not a first rounder.
I want
looks
somebody.
like.
I want somebody that's better at college football understanding than me to write the article comparing Joe Burrow to Hendon Hooker, because when I watch him play, I think their running styles are actually very similar to how Joe was. Like they kind of both love contact.
Oh, Hendon goes out of his way to get hit. He's starting to slide a little bit more, which is better. But he's so good. I can't believe like the transformation he's had from Virginia Tech to UT. It's insane.
Yeah, and people are gonna say he's like 25 years old or whatever. Yeah, he's old. He's very old for a college quarterback. So that's going to affect his draft stock. But I'm sick of people already playing the draft stock game while the season's going on.
But I think that plays to his advantage, because I think college quarterbacks who have more experience throwing the football, have more experience like taking the time honing their craft, are actually going to do better in the NFL.
Arian, what's your take on that?
It's just such a different game, so I there's just no way of knowing until cats show up. Like it's just different, man. Like I know, like when you look at this Tennessee offense, the biggest thing that you see is like the biggest thing that I've noticed the difference between NFL and college are the hash marks. So if you look at the hashes in college, they're really wide, right? And that's why like a lot of those spread things work. And in NFL, they're really short. And so a lot of the sets that people get in, it changes the way their style of play. And so that's why option doesn't translate too well in the NFL. It's because the field shortens. The field is longer. So, and you got DNs running 4-4, 4-3. It's just harder to do. So like I get long answer to your question. It's all on how they adapt, man, because in college, they line up for you exactly how their coaches tell you or they're going to line up. If they're running a nickel defense, they have blitz packages, and they do exactly what they're going to do. If they're lined up in this technique, to bring this. And in the NFL, they don't do that. They're just everywhere. It's kind of it's really hard to adapt to, and that's why you see younger quarterbacks struggle, because seeing all that stuff and then flying when it's not the corner number 2 from Kentucky, it's this guy's getting paid $17 million a year. It's just different level. And so when you see all of that happening really, really fast, it's just really hard to adapt to. So it's really just contingent on like your learning curve and how fast you can pick up like different coverages and stuff like that. So like I tend not to like judge cats until I see it happen.
That's smart. I think a lot of guys I've heard players in the NFL say like you can tell pretty much day one if a guy comes in if they can play or not. There's an inkling there.
Mm-mm.
No, you never had guys like that where you saw like you went out to practice with them and you're like, this guy's not going to make it.
I've had the opposite of like guys show up and be like, okay, yeah, he could play. But I've had guys where like we thought he was gonna be sorry, and then like he stayed for a year, maybe a year and a half, got some more experience, and played well. And so I've seen dudes who were fucking unreal like in practice and scrimmages and were just balling out, and then they get under the lights and they were just lost, deer in headlights, could not figure it out. And I've seen so many different, variants of a kind of player. Like that's why I always say I don't really judge cats until I see it.
Yeah,
and even then, like let's say you have a good year, right? Then you have defensive coordinators game planning against you, right? It's different. Like when defensive coordinators are planning to stop you, like that's how you usually do it. Because sometimes you have guys have a really good year and then you don't hear from them again, right? It's because defensive coordinators spent the entire offseason watching film on how to stop you. It's just a different level. It's just a weird. That's what their job.
That's got to be crazy. So at first you're going up against, especially if you're like a quarterback, you're going up against defenses that are trying to just confuse your offense in general and give you looks that maybe you aren't familiar with. And then after there's enough tape on you, then they start looking at your specific strengths and weaknesses and then try to emphasize all the things that make you bad and take away all the things that make you good. And then you have to figure out how to make your bad stuff good. That's too much work. That's why I never made it as an NFL quarterback. I'm very, very bad at self-scouting. Big T, what about Heupel and all the rumors out there that Heupel's going to leave for greener pastures?
That was weird. The Tony Romo thing saying he was going to be courted by the NFL.
He wouldn't just say that unless he knew something.
I'd imagine an agent told him that or something. Josh Heupel is not leaving to go to the NFL. The lifestyle of an NFL coach is better. I mean, you don't have to recruit 365 days a year. They actually like have an off season, but to leave the situation he has in Knoxville, where after this season, however it ends, he can write a number down on a piece of paper, hand it to Danny White, and that's how much money he'll make. To leave that and go to an NFL team that's obviously pretty bad, to have just fired its coach. And I mean, look at Matt Rule. Matt Rule had it made at Baylor, goes to the Panthers. He's out in 2 years?
Yeah.
I mean,
if it was the Cowboys, maybe. I just am assuming that Mike McCarthy's going to get fired at some point.
Where did Heupel come from?
He's never coached in the NFL. He was at UCF before this. He was the offensive coordinator at Missouri before that. He's been a college guy his whole life.
Some people like college coaching, and some people like NFL coaching. Like I remember Bill O'Brien talking to me. He was like, he hated being a college coach. He loved to be an NFL coach, but after his stint in the league, he got what he can get. Some people like that shit, but some people don't like, because you basically got to hold these cats' hands. You make sure they go to class, shit like that. Like people don't want to do that, but some people do.
Yeah, I think he's a college coach, first of all, and also I think he's got it pretty much made at this point. I mean, I can't imagine how many years of mediocrity to less than that it would take for him to get fired now.
Yeah, what about the fact that coaches that go from college to the NFL, they just never work.
Usually suck.
It just never works. If I was a college, every successful college coach should remind themselves in the offseason, they should look at the list of great college coaches that have tried to become pro coaches and what's happened to them, and just remind themselves that the skill set is completely different being a good professional head coach to working in college, like with recruiting and all that shit, to the point where if you're an NFL coach, half the players on the team, or at least 10 players on the team, are going to make way more money than you. You can't tell them, you can't treat them the same way that you treat college athletes sometimes. The best to ever do it, you could make the argument, probably Pete Carroll.
I was going to say Pete Carroll worked, and other than that, Saban sucked, Chip Kelly sucked, Urban Meyer was a complete disaster.
Yeah.
And these are national championship caliber coaches in college.
Yep.
Who else? I'm sure there's more, but yeah.
Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer.
Was Switzer good?
Jimmy Johnson.
He won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I think he won their last Super Bowl.
Jimmy Johnson obviously was good.
Jimmy Johnson was great.
But that's a long time ago.
Switzer wasn't a great professional head coach. He had Jimmy Johnson's players, and the team was already set up in those early to mid-90s Cowboys for him. So he just kind of came in and didn't fuck things up too bad.
Right. And Heupel's offense specifically is a very college-centric scheme.
Yeah, I think what happened here, this is a classic case of Heupel's agent wanting some news to leak out. So Heupel's agent probably told Romo's agent, because they probably worked together. A lot of the announcers' agents also represent coaches, and they're all friends because they usually work with the same agencies. And they said, okay, I want you to leak some news that Heupel is getting some offers, or there will be a strong interest from the NFL. And then that way, University of Tennessee is going to pay him more money this offseason.
I mean, he's going to get a crazy extension this offseason. He'll be one of the 10 highest paid coaches in America.
Yep.
As he should be. He's unbelievable.
Yep. So congratulations.
Yeah.
On the Tennessee Volunteers.
Big game this
now,
week.
Now, how many wins are we thinking now?
11 minimum. I mean, our other 3 games other than Georgia are South Carolina, Missouri, Vandy, who we should all just thump.
Yeah.
So.
Is the Georgia game this week?
Yeah, this week at Georgia, 3:30. It'll be it's going to be number 1 versus number 2. It is in the AP poll, but the college football playoff poll comes out Tuesday also. I expect us to be number 1, actually.
So walk me through this here, Big T. In the event that you do lose to Georgia,
we're fine.
What's the path?
Go 11-1. Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship game. And then we're 11-1 with 5 ranked wins, and our 1 loss is to 13-0 Georgia on the road in.
You don't think anyone's going to jump you?
No, I mean the Ohio State Michigan winner will be in.
What if that's instant classic?
I still, if Michigan loses that game, they haven't beaten much of anybody. Neither has Ohio State really. So I think Tennessee's resume against a one-loss one of those teams is better. Although I think it could be Georgia, Tennessee, Clemson's probably in, even though they suck because they're going to go 13-0. Clemson, and then the whoever wins Ohio State, Michigan. And then I think the loser of that game will be 5th. What could suck is TCU also going undefeated. We really need that not to happen. But I don't anticipate that happening.
I'm excited. I'm excited for playoff T.
Yeah. I mean, win this week and we're pretty much in.
Playoff T is going to be a sight. Oh, my God. What if you win a national championship, Big T?
I've found myself thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely believe at this point, I think we're the best football team in the country.
I think you are, too.
I think this Kentucky game did more for my confidence than Bama did. I mean, we went out there against a solid team who wanted to beat us desperately and just absolutely kick their teeth in. We made mistakes. I mean, we missed field goal and an extra point. We punted, which we never do. Like, we didn't play our best game, beat them 44-6.
Sometimes taking care of a team that you're supposed to beat and just really just choking the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That's the mark of a really good team.
They also, it was 44-6 with like 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they ran the ball like 11 times in a row so that we wouldn't get it back and score 50.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Also, Tyler Barron with a sack.
Big sack. Hendon obviously was great. He's now the favorite on the Barstool Sportsbook to win the Heisman Trophy.
What a world.
Oh, is he really?
Yep. He's minus 110, I think, and CJ Stroud is plus 180 now.
Greensboro, North Carolina. Stand up.
Yep.
Stamey's Barbecue, Peach Cobbler, High Point Road. Real ones know what I'm talking about.
It's been awesome. Jalen Hyatt's going to win the Biletnikoff Award. Like, it's crazy.
Motherfucker, boy, that came out of nowhere because
He's fucking awesome.
That motherfucker nice.
He's awesome.
So, okay, we've talked about the possibility. You guys, I think, might be the best team in the country. If not, you're definitely in the conversation.
Yeah.
Your offense is incredible. Defense has been showing up too recently. So now that we've talked about the upside and possibly winning a chip, let me into your deepest, darkest fears about this team.
I mean, I've seen it. Your expectations change. Like at the beginning of this season, if you would have said where we are right now, people would have killed people to be here.
Yeah.
So your expectations shift. But I've seen Tennessee teams that, I mean, truly were the worst of the worst in college football. So if you tell me we go 10-2 and we like drop, it would suck. It would suck for a minute, and then like we would go win the Sugar Bowl and finish an 11-win season and be like, that was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
So
That's good perspective.
Yeah, I mean the worst case scenario at this point is you get killed by Georgia, which I don't anticipate is going to happen.
I don't think a killing is that's not in the cards. It's going to be
right, but I'm just saying
I think it'll be a competitive game.
In your scenario, you go lose by 20 and then you fuck up and lose at South Carolina or something, and you finish 10-2. If we, that's the one that, listen, I can live with losing to South Carolina or Missouri. I would want to kill myself, but I could live with it. Vandy would actually. That's the deepest, darkest.
You'd actually do it. You'd pull that trigger.
I think I'd take my own life if we lost to. If we were like 10-1 with a trip to the playoff on the line and we lost to Vanderbilt, and I'm going to that game, I would take my own life.
What if you're undefeated going to Vandy, and they just beat you?
That's not as bad because we'd be in the SEC championship game. But
I don't think you make the playoffs if Vandy beats you.
Well, if you win the SEC championship,
that would be the most important game in Vanderbilt history. You know that.
Oh, it is right now
because they could take away.
This is all they live for.
Yes,
they're.
Be careful about Vandy.
We're going to be a 34-point favorite,
and your fans are going to be in the stands where you guys are doing the checkerboard thing.
I don't think that's going to end up happening. It'd be hysterical if it did, but yeah, I mean it'll be all orange as it is every time. And if we lost that game, it would be suey season for sure.
that's the deep dark.
But that's not going to happen. We're winning this week.
All right. So you said that before the season started that people would have killed people to get to this point. So
absolutely,
who would you kill to get a Tennessee national championship? Specific name.
Almost anyone.
Really?
Like
Billy,
Paul Pelosi?
yeah.
you would kill Billy?
Polly P.
There's like 4 or 5 exceptions.
Would you kill me?
Yeah.
You have to think about it.
I would be upset. It would trouble me.
It would be like Wesley Snipes in New Jack City.
Yes. Yeah,
where
yeah,
you're
yeah.
crying as you pull the trigger.
Exactly. But I think there'd be a mutual understanding. Like you'd get it.
I would understand. What about Arian? Would you kill
I don't
Arian?
think you would be cool with that though.
I wouldn't be cool with it, but I would understand why.
Yeah. It's like
It's a national championship we're talking about
like
here, Donnie.
Olenna Tyrell in Game of Thrones. She's like, how are you going to do it?
Yeah. Would you make it painless?
Yeah, I would try. Yeah,
Okay. Would you kill Arian?
probably.
I mean, he's
But
Tennessee
but
legend.
he's a VFL though, so
you would take away the L.
well, no, it would solidify the L.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
You wouldn't kill Arian, but you
No,
kill me.
no,
That seems a little reverse racist on your part.
It's the first time I've been accused of that.
Woke T.
But with almost anyone in the world, yeah.
What about Mad Dog?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fast.
I mean,
He had
Come on.
no,
listen,
no
I've
hesitation.
known Madeline for 2 years. I
I expected that.
Wait a
And
second. Is it
I-
2 years coming up?
it'll be 2 years.
In March.
Whoa.
yeah. No, I mean, I would hate it again.
How many?
No, yeah, but
It would
but
upset
again,
me.
I understand it. It's like I get it.
I would kill Madeline just because she's trying to kill all
But
of us
we don't
right now.
we don't have to
With
we don't have to kill
sickness.
anyone because we've already gotten here. So
No, but to complete it though. That's
right,
What I'm saying.
but we're in we're in a position to do that.
Yep.
So
How many cigars would you smoke if they won the national championship?
a lot.
Well, if you think about it, you're kind of killing yourself by doing that.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get cancer. So
I would just as
You're going to
soon
kill yourself if they win. You're going to.
if the Lord took me the second the clock hit 0, it would have been worth it.
Oh no, you're gonna want at least a week after because you want to come into work the next day like with that bounce in your step. You're like, I fucking own all you guys. This is Big T's time.
We got to quit talking about this because it's making me think it's going to happen.
You got to take a
And,
victory lap if it happens. That's what I'm saying.
pal. If we win a national championship, you will have never seen a victory lap the likes of which I will provide. I can assure you that.
It's gonna dominate what happened. Like if you compare the Braves World Series, that's gonna look like child's play compared to UT National Championship.
Yeah.
And I want to be along for the ride.
Yeah.
I really do. It would be
We're
incredible.
close. We're close.
I just-
Win on Saturday, you're probably in the playoff.
I just want to hear Big T smoke a cigar again and do that.
That cut you had of the video is pretty funny.
Yeah, Arian, can you make a beat out of Big T's cough?
Yeah, send me the audio clip again. I'll do it.
Okay, I'll send it over to you. It's maybe my favorite sound of all time.
It's pretty funny.
I'll send it.
All right, Billy. Segment. How was your weekend? Sorry, how was your Saturday?
Oh, I saw on Friday night, I watched the cops fight the fire department at a small town. It was pretty awesome.
They just showed up and fought.
Guns and
Yeah.
hoses. No, it was a boxing. It was a tough man competition.
It sounded like the Sharks and the Jets from West Side Story.
Yeah.
It was actually where I trained for the Conseco fight, so it was cool to see some of the guys I trained with fight, and it was awesome. It's actually the perfect amount. We actually should probably try to do a rough and rowdy there. I'll talk to Devlin about that.
Who won?
I might actually fight in that. The firefighters won.
You're
It's
not.
funny
You know,
'cause
you're not a cop or a
Damn.
firefighter.
I know, but if we
Police
did a
can't get a
rough and
break.
rowdy
Mm-hmm.
in with some of those guys on the card, I think it would do well.
So you would try to fight in an event that's reserved for police officers and firefighters, but just as like the one guy that's not.
We probably have some other
You
rough
do-
and rowdy undercards.
You do understand why people accuse you of stealing valor. Is
I'm
it
just
starting to
saying-
make a little
okay, you know
sense?
what?
Being able to legally fight a cop would be pretty cool, though.
That's
No,
true.
so this
Yeah.
is what the firefighters were all better athletes, but the cops
they
were
had
just,
guns. The cops
No, the
had
cops were just meaner. Like in the fights, you could just tell. Like there was this one fight where the warden of Central Booking was fighting, and like this guy, he was a little overweight, but like you could tell he could box. And this guy pieced up a firefighter, and I was just like, this guy probably like knows the right buttons from like hitting dudes in Central Booking.
Yeah.
Just like knowing where to hit a guy to put him down, because this guy like actually there, at that level of boxing, and I know in Rough and Rowdy, we have some higher level boxers, but like there's not that many knockouts. But this guy actually like stumbled a guy. like
Wow.
legs locked. But it was a pretty awesome event.
I would like to see Billy fight a cop. I think that'd be
Yes.
great. If you're a cop out there and you want to,
If you walked out, just
really
with like
nip
a
the
sign,
problem in the
abolish
bud.
the police.
that would be great if that's how you like marketed the fight.
Antifa
Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, but
Libby football.
No, but I'm just
Antifa
saying-
versus cops. That'd
Yeah.
be sick.
no, but it
Or
would
just
actually
skateboarders.
It would be a
Yeah.
great event.
Skateboarders versus cops fighting would be sick.
Yeah. As long as no boards were involved.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Here's my favorite sound in the world. Arian, I'm going to send this to you.
That'd be you could do something sick with that.
Yeah,
beat.
yeah. Make that into a sample.
Yeah.
Put it
I
in
gotta
the
send
vault.
it.
That it's actually that Rocky Top song.
Because it
the
almost
slow
sounds
one.
like a drum roll too, like
does. With the snare, yeah. It's almost too perfect.
the slow Rocky Top entrance music.
Did you see they played that at the stadium
Yeah.
on Saturday? It was fucking sick.
If we just sampled that in random places.
Choppy top.
Oh,
choppy top.
quick shout out to whoever was working the lights at Neyland Stadium. The way they did all the spotlight on the tee when it was opening up, that shit was
Yeah.
fucking dope. bro.
The night entrances at Neyland, now that they have those like LED lights, they can do whatever they want. They're incredible.
Shout out to them. I'm gonna find out who.
There's some
working the
company
lights,
out there
'cause they
that
killed that shit.
designed the new version of lights that you see in college football stadiums. It's like, look at all this cool stuff that we can do. And then every major college football school in America was like, I need to buy that guy's system.
I think Bama was the first one that had it. And I remember because it was 2019 and they debuted it against Tennessee. And they told the SEC, we have to play this game at 9 p.m. Eastern because obviously that's 8 o'clock there. And they wanted it to be dark enough to do their fucking light show. So the game didn't start till 9. It was a 4-hour game, went till 1 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next season, everybody had those lights because Bama had them. So you have to have them as well.
Yeah.
Well, Vandy doesn't, but it's clear why.
I'm just saying, watch out for Vandy.
No, I mean, that would it'd be the last time you saw me.
Breaking news. Roquan Smith has just been traded to the Ravens.
So they're getting rid of everybody.
Yeah. It's smart.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You got to rebuild.
Yeah.
Russia accused the UK of blowing up the pipeline, which means they definitely didn't blow up the pipeline.
They're accusing us of.
The UK,
Oh, okay.
which is weird. And their evidence is that Liz Truss
Big Truss.
texted Blinken, who I think is one of our guys, a minute after it blew up, saying it's done. And they hacked her phone and found that.
But she wasn't the prime minister then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But
Well-
that's what they're claiming.
I just like saying Big
Yeah.
Truss.
But it's definitely fake.
Trust me, daddy.
Truss.
Yeah. Are you gonna dress as Liz Truss at the USA UK game, or you were thinking of maybe?
Dead Queen.
Yeah,
Might.
I mean, I just don't know. Cross dressing might cross some boundaries in Qatar.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, cuz, don't get arrested, cuz.
I'm not planning on getting arrested.
No, his
That
plan
shit
is
not-
to
that's not
I'll
working,
always be
man.
right next to PFT doing something slightly stupider than him. So
That's a great idea.
yeah,
I could go as William Wallace. That's kind
Yeah.
of like fuck you, England. Paint half my face blue, wear the hair down.
But it's not
Yeah.
pro-America.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys
it's not pro-America.
You guys got to go full patriot. Go get the wigs, the powdered
Oh,
wigs.
powdered
I
wigs.
think you go founding
You got to go.
father.
Yeah, you got to go colonists like
Yeah.
blues,
What about
Continental Army members.
what about the founding daddies? And it's kind of like a mix of the powdered,
LGBTQ.
powdered wig and then also just like giant tits.
Like your sexy George Washington.
sexy, yeah, slutty,
Oh,
Slutty George Washington.
slutty Thomas
Be
Jefferson.
Martha.
Yeah.
I'll go as
Or
slutty
Martha
Sam
Washington.
Adams.
Oh, I like
Maybe.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Slut, yeah,
that's a good one.
slutty GW. I just take my teeth out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Founding daddies.
Give Nancy a run for her money.
Oh, Reagan and Nancy would be a hell of a costume. Could I design a costume that I'm going as Ronald Reagan and then just have like a life-size like mannequin hanging from my belt facing in? That'd be great. But yeah, we got to do some talk about this.
Yeah.
I like the powdered wig idea though.
Speaking of 3Chi, I talked to our cameraman Michelangelo because he enjoys smoking weed, and I was like, "You're not gonna be able to bring weed to Qatar, unfortunately." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna bring 3Chi," and I was like, "I don't think like they differentiate between like weed and 3Chi
No,
in
not
Qatar."
at all. No, this is Delta 8.
Okay.
And then they'll be like, okay, in that
Yeah,
case, yeah, sure.
That's fine.
Okay, well, thank you for
Yeah.
joining us on Nanodosing, Donnie.
Oh no, it was my pleasure.
And we'll be back on Wednesday. I guess it'll come out on Thursday. On Thursday, we have a very special guest. Very, very special guest.
With a prediction on the Tennessee-Georgia game from someone you would not expect at all.
Yeah, now we're doing mind control, right?
Yep.
That's the topic. Mind control. And that is, it's somewhat of a hint for you to figure out who the guest's going to be, but you're way off. I'm telling you, if you're thinking along traditional lines of mind control, you are way off. But it should be it's a fun episode, fun interview. All right, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Love you guys.